Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Heart to Heart Talk. I'm John Kuert, the interim pastor at First Assembly in Newcastle, and I'm glad that you have joined me today for this time of devotion. I hope it will be a blessing and a challenge to you. To most Christians, making a spiritual impact on a community like ours in Newcastle, it typically means organizing a big event. We assume that the need for some type of evangelistic crusade or a concert or a witnessing invasion. And this, of course, requires extensive planning and organization, as well as lots of time and money in order to see great numbers of people swept into the kingdom. Now, there is certainly a place for mega events that reach the masses, especially if they help Christ's followers develop a burden for the lost. But this is not the primary model Christ gave us. When Jesus called his disciples, he set a model of ministry that started with touching the lives of individuals who would in turn influence others. And if each member of the body of Christ would adapt Jesus' strategy and focus on the difference the individual can make, our communities would be impacted far more rapidly and effectively than if we continue our dependency on event evangelism as the primary means of reaping the harvest. Several years ago, my family and I were visiting Germany, and one day as I was following the romantic road, the Romantische Straßen, through the countryside, I came to an unmarked intersection, and I realized I was lost. Well, a local farmer tried his best to give me directions in German, but I wasn't getting it. And as I saw his frustration level rising, I pretended to understand and politely thanked him. And I turned right at the intersection, started in the direction that he pointed. But after a few miles and still no markers, I decided that the most sensible thing to do was to backtrack. Now, my family protested. After all, what would the farmer think? Nevertheless, I headed back, and when we approached the intersection, my wife and children slumped down in the car. I've always wondered what that farmer thought as he saw me waving and driving in the opposite direction without my family. But it was the right move because we were heading in the right direction. I think it's time for us as believers to retrace our steps and get back to the kind of individual involvement that caused the early church to impact the first century. Not only is this what Jesus originally intended, but it will also be the most effective way for us to reach our generation. Today, we are faced with reaching secular people who have built up so many barriers of resistance to the institutional church and religion that it's going to take individuals building personal bridges. Unfortunately, though, most Christians never go beyond theoretical belief. We want to make a spiritual impact, but we're not sure how to get out and get going in the right direction. We dream of influencing our community for Christ, but the sad reality remains that most have never even led one person to Christ. Whatever the reasons may be for this condition, it's imperative that we overcome our inertness and start to make a difference. To impact someone is to have an effect on them or influence their thinking, and we can do it. And I hope that you will start doing that and reach your neighbor, reach family members maybe that have been estranged from you and your family. And let's just touch individual lives and reach out like the early church did. It's going to be a great thing when we see that harvest come in and we see that every one of us, not the whole, not some big event, but each and every one of us individually had a real part in it. So God bless you today. I hope that you have a great day, and Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye.